All right, the votes are in, and Celeste is our 5th hero added in the Old Gods, New Blood, Deadlock major update. Hey everyone, this is Connor here at Dead Unlocked, and today we're doing our usual hero breakdown for the new hero. We're going to take a look at all of her animations, her weapon, what each ability does, read through all the text. So, let's get right into it. But yeah, first impressions of Celeste right away. I mean, what a sick-looking hero. Color palette is really on point. I feel like they struck a good balance of like the bright and vibrant colors that I saw in some of the earlier renderings, but they toned it down a bit with the black jacket. But, I mean, the flaming baton, I think, is what that probably is. The sparkles, this is just a very over-the-top, colorful character. Very fitting of a unicorn archetype, but I think they nailed it with the color palette, though, regardless. But let's look at her animations. The slide is insane. That can't be comfortable in any way. Like, what a crazy animation. But I do really love, like, the stars kind of twinkling as she goes. Very fabulous. The melee is also equally fabulous. You have, like, I don't know, this is just very over-the-top light animation. The heavy melee had to be a ram with the horn. Amazing. So that's definitely cool to see. Let's take a look at her weapon here. This has 8 ammunition standard. Also, before I get into that, actually, I should mention she has 4 stamina. I feel like this could be misinformation, but I feel like all the other female characters in this game just have 2 stamina, which is crazy. But it looks like she has 4 here, so that's cool. Very agile. Kind of makes sense with her kit, though. So yeah, Celeste's weapon is called Carney Life. It is the best comparison I could find is to Doorman's gun. They do the same amount of damage, same clip size, except for Celeste's bounces one time. It just has a bouncy notation to it. Not sure the exact details, but the fire rate is pretty slick. Obviously, it twirls with her baton, and just a ton of aura coming from this weapon. But definitely a slower projectile. Kind of can't believe I just hit that shot, by the way. The bounces really do fly a long way as well. 2 really funny clips to get right there, but yeah, so you're going to be able to hit around corners a lot with this. There's a lot you're going to be able to do with this gun right away. Really sick looking. Pretty quick fire rate, but yeah, 8 standard stock in the clip. And yeah, very comparable, like I said, to Doorman's in terms of damage and everything else. All right, so Celeste's one ability is called Light Eater. You can use this one every 20 seconds, has a 10-meter distance, it looks like. Blast enemies in a cone in front of you with a flare of light. Enemies hit take spirit damage when attacked by Celeste and provide spirit lifesteal. So not only does this one do damage when it hits, it also does damage when she follows up with damage. A lot of damage there. Plus 20% lifesteal. The flare does 50 damage itself. The on-bullet hit afterwards adds 25 damage, and this can kind of, they'll burn for 12 seconds, kind of gives you that window when you want to try and follow up. As you level this up, you'll get a minus 10-second cooldown. The second level is plus 3-meter cast range and plus 15% spirit lifesteal. And then at max level, this one adds 25 damage and gives you increased spirit scaling. And that goes all the way up to 0.43 instead of the standard 0.23 as it would be. So let's see what this looks like. Okay, just a pretty classic bit of conal damage. There's the 50 damage, and there's the extra spirit damage that procs as well. So they're just going to sit here on fire. I think it's every time you follow up. Wow. So that just stays on him for 12 seconds. Yeah, I mean, you can see the cone there. So there's the initial damage, and there's the cone. So as Abrams has this, he's going to take on every single bullet hit spirit damage. Wow, you can see it ticking there. That's pretty impressive. That's going to make this additional spirit scaling and damage really strong. Because now all of a sudden it's 50 damage on every bullet hit plus spirit scaling. Oh, I need to obviously use the thing first. Duh. Okay, yeah, 50 damage every time. And I mean, that would scale up a ton as you invest spirit into Celeste. So right away, I mean, that one ability with bullet follow-up with her really interesting gun is going to be really good. This one, again, is called Light Eater. Celeste's 2 ability is called Dazzling Trick. This one has a 35-second cooldown. Surround yourself in a protective prism that provides bonus move speed. If the barrier is destroyed, it silences nearby enemies and deals a portion of the barrier as damage. That's sick, first of all. Okay, this one gives you plus 1 meter per second move speed, I would guess. A 125 barrier that scales with spirit at a 1.1x rate. So that will actually grow quite a bit with the spirit investment. This gives you it lasts for 4 seconds. And then again, on explode, silences. That lasts for 1.75 seconds. Does 50% of the barrier damage in a 15-meter explosion radius. Yeah. So, first level up, this is going to give you an additional 2.5 meter per second move speed. Second level is 100 extra barrier and increased barrier spirit scaling. And on the 5 plus 2 second, I'm guessing, silence duration and minus 18 cooldown allows Shining Wonder to bounce. Okay, the Shining Wonder is the ult, so we'll get to that. But in any case, this is what Dazzling Trick looks like. Amazing. So again, that would, if you're shooting it, I could set this up in the test area as well. But if you shoot it, this one will show the silence effect in that 15-meter radius. But we'll come back to this one. I want to check on this one again once we've looked at the ult. But that is Dazzling Trick. It is kind of her basic 2 ability. This will be her ability to again get around the map quickly, and it is a way of her to probably not only engage into fights and kind of proc the barrier silence, but also as a way to get out of fights because obviously you're going to silence whoever's chasing you. So that is Dazzling Trick for Celeste. All right, next up, we have a charged ability in the 3 slot for Celeste, and that is Radiant Daggers. This one looks like you can use it every 30 seconds. Call down a beam of light from the sky. After a short duration, the beam will fully form, causing an explosion that deals spirit damage to all targets in the area. Celeste will receive a stacking buff that increases her spirit damage anytime this hits an enemy hero. What? Okay, that's sick. Okay, it's a temporary buff. Maybe it's not permanent, I guess anyway. But the inherent damage here is 67. I cannot believe they did a 6-7 impact damage. Unbelievable, Valve. Has a 0.49 spirit scaling. Spirit amp per stack is plus 8%. That's good to note. And this has an 8-meter explosion radius, 6 max stacks, 1.4 second beam form duration, and 25-second buff duration. So you can acquire these stacks over 25 seconds, and that's how long the buff will last. I assume though, if you proc a new stack, that it will just kind of continue to expand the duration. That'll be something to check. But as you level this one up, you get plus 2 charges first. Second, you get minus 12 second cooldown and plus 60 impact damage, so it doubles the impact damage almost. And then at max level, you get extra spirit amp and fire rate per stack. So let's see a look at what Radiant Daggers looks like. All right, so here it is. We go to use it. The area of effect is huge. I don't think I noted it, but I mean it's a 30-meter radius. So this is actually huge. There it is. That is a sick animation, by the way. And then you get the stack there as well, and you can see the stack right by our health bar ticking down. Assuming if I were to hit him again, then it'll apply another one. Okay, yeah, there's the second stack. So it kind of forms at the end of it there is when you get the stack. So, yeah, and this will increase anytime this hits an enemy hero. And again, this after a short duration, this beam fully forms, causing an explosion that deals spirit damage. So this one, again, takes time to proc, but once it does the damage, applies the stack. And yeah, every time you apply a stack, it is renewing the duration here. As you can see, Radiant Daggers right there. All right, now we have Celeste's ultimate. This is called Shining Wonder. You can use this every 140 seconds. Launch a deadly orb of light that deals spirit damage and applies slow and reduces dash distance on impact. The orb then bounces to the nearest enemy within range. If no target is found, the orb will linger for a short duration while continuing to look for targets. It prioritizes enemy heroes when picking targets and refunds half the cooldown on a miss. So you can miss this. It is a skill shot you have to hit. On hit, it applies 118 damage, scales with spirit at a 0.6 rate clip. Minus 40% move speed when you hit it. That's the slow percentage. And it bounces 8 times. There's a lot of other stats here as well. Minus 25% dash distance. The slow duration is 1.5 seconds. The bounce range is 17 meters. And the max linger duration is 4.5 seconds. As you level this one up, minus 20% move speed and minus 15% dash distance. 50 extra damage. And then on max, it is plus 10 bounces and minus 35-second cooldown. 18 bounces of this is crazy. We gotta see what this looks like. All right, here it is.
This should be good.
Okay, so it's bouncing right now. It's just bouncing to the ball. You can see the linger there. It's lingering, looking for a new target. So that's what it'll look like when it does linger, though. But we now have to see, it would bounce around a lot more in a team fight, obviously, or with more enemies around. I assume this could go to troopers as well, potentially. But on max level of Dazzling Trick, it can bounce off of this. So I could use Dazzling Trick, hit Abrams with this, and now all of a sudden, it can just bounce back and forth. So this will be a way, if you can level up, you know, your Dazzling Trick at max level, it actually can make your ult way more of a damage dealing catalyst than you might think. Again, usually you might think of this as like an escape tool, but with the ult and with its max affecting the ult like that, this could be a really cool way to kind of like isolate people, deal burst damage to them. I'll show it again really quick just because it is cool. That's what it looks like. So now if I use this, it will actually bounce afterwards. So I can be moving around. And then just for fun, we'll show what the ult looks like at max level. It's going to kill the Abrams pretty quick, but we'll do it anyway. So it's going to bounce 18 times. Abrams will be dead long before that, but I mean, that is going to be crazy. And then it will find other ways to bounce, and then it'll kind of, again, kind of taper out there. But anyway, those are all Celeste abilities. Immediately a hero that is going to be so sick to play. We'll take a look at some zipline animations and potential build ideas and itemization for Celeste, but before we do that, I want to get into her lore. So this is her backstory that was just added to the game. Even in a world of magic, some things are still rare and unusual. So what is a unicorn to do? Announce her presence to the world and potentially have poachers looking to saw off her horn? God, it's visceral. Or hide in plain sight at a Coney Island sideshow where most folk would assume her appearance is just part of an act. Over the years, the dazzling Celeste has grown into one of the more popular attractions on Coney, and while the applause from a cheering audience is appreciated, what keeps her waking up in the morning is the found family she's made at work. Karuba the Mermaid, Blockhead Lenny, Chicken Wing, and Ted. Wow, all could just be future characters, who knows? It'd be amazing. These are her people. So when she discovered that one of her own sold part of her soul in a way in order to cover up a gambling debt, Celeste knew it was time to step out of the shadows and do whatever it takes to get it back. Is revealing her power to the patrons a risk? Yes. But that's tomorrow's problem. Her family needs help today. So Celeste, right away, also linking her to Karuba the Mermaid, Blockhead Lenny, Chicken Wing, and Ted, whoever they are. But a really awesome story here for the Dazzling Celeste. Like I said, let's take a look quickly at her itemization, early ideas about her builds, and her zipline animation. So here we've got Celeste on the zipline. As you would expect, very circus-esque zipline performance. Also, I gotta say, the stomach tap being the old Lucky Shot icon is so sick, by the way. Oh, so cool. But anyway, let's take a look at, here's Celeste as well on the item shop screen. First time looking at her there. You get a great look at that, the old Lucky Shot symbol is super cool to see. But this is kind of the default build for Celeste, kind of what the game wants to point you towards is that spirit-heavy build. Maybe some mobility in there as well with the stamina. But again, she does seem like she's going to be kind of like a nimble, get in, get out, do a lot of spirit chain damage, and then use that spirit damage to make her weapon even stronger. So that's kind of like the early concept of her. But I also wanted to show off, I've got a lot of Infernuses here. We got to show off the ults really, really popping off. So let's just take a look at this, and this maxed out. So Dazzling Trick and the ultimate maxed out. We'll do this. So there it is, really going. Dude, the trail of that being a rainbow is so sick as well. And that is what it would do damage-wise at base to just kind of a group of NPCs. You can see, obviously, if you were to buy some items on this, like Boundless and some other things like that are in the build here, Rapid Recharge, right? Anything to get her using that as fast as possible, so like Trans Cooldown being a really good one. I think her ult is going to be really, really strong off the rip. And then her kind of sustain being this really huge Radiant Daggers is cool. And then a conal damage in front of her, kind of like Mina's Rake. This is a character that is going to be able to get around a lot, do a lot of AoE damage, and a lot of kind of single target damage to these big spheres of people. So anyway, I'm super excited for this hero. I'm really interested to see how she plays out in terms of gameplay. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on the design, itemization, everything in between. Would definitely love to hear it. But that's going to do it for this one. From our house to yours, we'll see you all next time here at Dead Unlocked.